I'm fine by grace. Yes. So I want to take you to um, one of the things that you'll be doing in a literature review, which a lot of people do not really understand. Usually when it comes to literature review, people feel that it's all about putting different theories together. So you see people writing on a number of theories. Okay, so that's the way that a lot of people use. However, you see that literature is more like the heart of the work. Okay, where the literature lays the connections. Okay, if you are saying that two items relate, then you must use literature to prove that these two items actually relate. Okay, so I'm going to show you some few techniques that I would like you to use. So let me just open a work quickly. Okay, so this is something that I am working on. I'm actually working on now. Um, is one of the papers I have already published, and then I'm using it as a template to guide me for a new work. Okay. Now, when you look at it, you will see clearly that it is about job crafting. You're trying to put the literature together. This is about job crafting, but because I'm trying to write something new under it, I've changed job crafting to organizational readiness. Okay. Now, in every quantitative study that relies on a cross-sectional, or let's say you are looking at a linear relationship, there are two variables that you cannot skip. Okay, there are two variables. The first one is what we call the explanatory variable, or some people call it the independent variable, and also the dependent variable. Okay, now when you look at this work, I'm going to break it down. I'm going to break the work down so that you can practically implement what I want you to do. Okay, now you see the first sentence. Look at the first sentence. I'm going to highlight it. Look at the first sentence. It says that job crafting is a concept that describes a person's proactive capabilities to make modifications to professional work routines in order to stay afloat with contemporary trends and prevailing market demands. Now, what I want you to grasp is that your first line of explaining an independent variable should offer either a definition or a description of that variable. Do you get it? So the first statement is clearly telling you that this is how it is explained in literature. You can see as well that I did not cite any author in this. That does not mean that you cannot cite. You can equally cite someone. Okay. Now, so I want you to have the breakdown so that when you are working, you are going to work with the breakdowns. So the first thing that we have identified is what we call the description. So I'm just going to put it here as the first thing. Yes, is the description.
So it means whenever you have an article to write or a thesis, every point you raise, like let's say organizational readiness, you have to explain it or like give a definition before you can.
No, in context, we are looking at literature review, remember, we are not at the introduction.
Okay.
Are you getting it? Yes, we are solely at the literature review now. And literature review is supposed to give an insight into the concepts that you have used. You try to give a vivid explanation of your understanding of those concepts. You get it? So we are, and that is why I told you that it is the heart, actually. is the heart of the work, because that is where the volumes of explanation and the depth of your knowledge in the subject area actually shows. Okay. So the first statement we made is actually the description of the concept. Okay. Now let's take the second statement. What does it say?
Strongly rooted in the self-determination theory.
Okay. So we are saying that the second statement is what? We said that strongly rooted in the self-determination theory. It means that now we are trying to say that this concept, okay, this concept is derived from this theory. Okay, as we usually say, or as I've taught you some time back, I told you that concepts throw more light on a theory. Concepts elucidates on theories. Okay, so our statement, our second statement is trying to show you that this concept of job crafting that I am talking about is rooted in self-determination theory. It means that its grounding, its root is from this theory. You see why literature review is difficult? Because you need to go and check the foundation of the concept. So for instance, the new one you'll be doing is organizational readiness. It means that you need to go and look for the theoretical root of organizational readiness. You have to look for it.
Okay.
Are you getting it? So yes. Let me just put it also here again. So we are giving a theoretical backing. Okay. So you see why I always say that management is a science. Okay. So you see that it's following a systematic approach. You just don't write haphazardly. You get it? Then look at our third statement. It goes on to say that in a contemporary business dynamic, it means that we are saying here that even though this concept has been long, may have come to force a long time ago, the theory may have been existing for so long a time, you are trying to look at this issue from a recent point of view. Okay, so you are looking at the recency of that particular concept you are working on. So look at the statement. In a contemporary dynamic business setting, comma, the concept, which is the job crafting concept, reflects the need for entrepreneurs. So you see, we are bringing context in now to acquire new skills and competencies through learning. Are you getting it? So that is where we are now in terms of recency of that particular work. Okay. Then it continues. So that our third statement does not end there. It continues. So thus, job crafting reflects the capacity of an entrepreneur to extend task boundaries, alter relational restrictions, and modify cognitive limitations of a job. You see the explanation.
Yes.
You see the explanation. So in the writing, our first statement, we felt that it was not clear enough. Our first statement, which is in contemporary dynamics of dynamic business setting, the concept reflects the need for entrepreneurs to acquire new skills and competencies through learning. You see, we felt that it's not enough. So we need to build more argument. So it goes on again to say that thus, job crafting reflects the capacity of an entrepreneur to extend task boundaries, That is 1. Alter relational restrictions, that is 2, and modify cognitive limitations of a job. And you see that we have cited the person, we have cited someone.
There's a recent paper.
Yes, because this is a statement of fact, and it is also recent. 2023. You see, most of it are not. You see people who are citing people, and when you say contemporary, then you should be citing something 2 years ago, nothing more than 2 years ago. Are you getting the point? Then, so that is our third. Let me highlight it. That is our third statement. Okay, let me use a different color. Okay. So here we'll talk about
recency.
Yeah, recency. Okay. Then look at our concluding statement now. Then you are now trying to say, because you see, what we have said under the recency is somebody's understanding of the concept. Okay, what the component or the elements within that concept, somebody's understanding of it. Now, you also need to give your own view. In literature, we call it, or in research, we call it your voice. What is your voice? When you are saying, okay, somebody said this, somebody said that, you are citing people here and there. At the end of the day, the question is, what is your voice? Which contribution are you also making? What are you saying? Because you are also a scholar. Okay, so it continues. The current study contextualize. The moment we use contextualize, it means that we are bringing our aspects of it. Okay, the current study contextualize job crafting from the perspective of BZI 2017. We are saying that our logic in writing this paper and conceptualizing a particular or job crafting is in line or very similar to what BZI 2017 also said about the same concept. Are you getting it? So it does not mean that at every point in time you need to cite someone in this kind of case. Are you getting it? It does not mean that every time you need to share in somebody's path of cognitive explanation of a particular concept. Are you getting it? You can deviate, you can come out with your own. However, we in this particular work, we are saying that it is very similar. Our thinking, our logical reasoning about the concept is very similar to what BZI did in 2017. Okay. Then we go on to state what he said. He said that the scholar posits that task-related competency development is a product of an individual's social networking capabilities. So because we say we are reasoning like BZI, we need to go and pick what BZI, the description that BZI gave. Then we also do what? We paraphrase the same to reflect our understanding of the concept. So that is I think that's the fourth and final, how do you call it? Writing on this particular subject of independent variable. Do we get it? All right. So your task now, so that is now, I'm not going to bombard you with many things. Your task now is to go, our new thing that we are writing on is organizational readiness. Organizational readiness. And we are still looking at entrepreneurs, okay? Organizational readiness. We are still looking at entrepreneurs. So your task now is to go back and then you write based on the way we have broken down this whole statement. Okay? Yes, please go ahead.
Okay, so from the literature review, please can you scroll up?
Okay.
Up to the beginning of the literature review.
All right.
Okay, here.
Yeah.
So, to my understanding, if you get to the literature review and then your variables from your objective of study,
Yeah.
that's where you break it down into sections. So each independent variable is where you break it down into these steps.
Yes. So, but in this particular work, we use only one independent variable. So we only break that one down into these steps. You get it?
Okay.
But it gives you what we are doing is that we are looking at how literature is being done now. Okay, the way contemporary literature is different from the literature that we knew several years ago. I get it. So we are going to just go by this format, okay, to do the independent. Then after you are done with the independent, we'll come back and look at how to do the dependent. Then I'll show you how to do the mediating variable as well, and even moderating variable. You'll be doing all of them. Okay. So we'll end it there and then go back. If you need any article, please send me a message. I'll download it and send it to you. Okay. And remember, only Sage, Emerald, Springer, Taylor and Francis, Elsevier, Wiley, only those ones. Okay. The scholarly ones. You know, I always tell you that garbage in, garbage out. So make sure that you use the best to come out with the best. Okay. All right. So thank you for your time and hoping to hear from you very soon.
Okay. Have a nice day.
All right, you too.